Shireen, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So hello everyone, and thank you so much for being with us today for this event, and thank you so much, Shireen, also for giving me this opportunity to share my story. Actually, for those of you who know me before, I already did many virtual tours on Internations, but like this is the first event where I speak more about a completely different subject, which is a subject of self-healing that also goes with my spiritual journey that started about 12 years ago. So basically, the purpose of this presentation is not gonna be a very long presentation like the virtual tours. It's only gonna be like 30 minutes long. The idea is that after this presentation, we discuss what I'm going to say in the presentation, and if you have also self-healing stories that you want to share with us, would love to hear and to have a discussion about this subject. So, first of all, what's going to happen, I'm going to tell you a little bit about self-healing in general, what I think it is in a way. And then I'm going to share with you personal experiences that happened with me during the last few years of self-healing. And then I'm going to show you just a small part of a video of 2 minutes, and then we'll go for discussion. So this is like a bit of the structure of the presentation. So, self-healing. I would like to begin by something actually that I have always, first of all, I completely forgot. For those of you who don't know me, so my name is Said. I forgot to introduce myself quickly. I live in Bordeaux, actually. I'm originally from France. I live in Bordeaux. And I've been living in Bordeaux in south of France for 3 years. And here I work in the tourism industry. And I also work as a tour guide in Bordeaux. So if you are ever in Bordeaux, do not hesitate to contact me. Anyway, so back to our main subject. You know, since I was young, always had these questions about life, about what are we doing on Earth, what is the purpose of this life, and know all these philosophical questions, let's say. And I think that we as human beings, we always have this idea. We grow actually, and we are programmed in a way that we are always, whenever we need something, should it be on a health level or on a relationship level or on a work level, on any aspects of life, we are always seeking to ask help from an exterior entity, from a power that is outside of us, you know, and we don't really give importance, or we forget that we really have the power within ourselves, you know. And this is something that I really recognized and learned during my until now 12 years of spiritual journey. We always learn that we should seek help, and that help is from an entity that is outside of us, that sometimes we call the Tao, the karma, the universe, God. What I learned from my spiritual journey is that we all have part of God inside of us. You know, we all have this power inside of us, and it's not seeking an outside help that helps us, it's seeking ourselves, our own help. And in my opinion, all healing that we go through is a self-healing, because it begins from our mind, from our mindset. And this is what the purpose of this presentation is, show you how I came into this belief. And when we talk about self-healing, self-healing is not only for medical conditions. You know, it could go for relationships, it could go for work, it could go for medical conditions, and also it could go for changing stuff in our life, changing our mindset, setting new goals. You know, it goes for all aspects of our lives. As I wrote here, you and your body either decide heal or you don't, because you cannot imagine the huge potential of the mind. And I'm not telling you this because I watched some videos or I read some books, even though I did, but because I personally experienced this in my life. And in this presentation, I'm going to be telling you about two experiences that I had. So healing can go on different aspects. You can heal a relationship, you can heal your heart, you can heal your body. You can find opportunities in the work that you are looking for, or you can also find the good ways, the good paths that you want in order to achieve something new and changing the path of your life. It's your mindset that controls everything, and then is going to send the orders in a way to your body. So here, I would like to talk a bit, because in this presentation, as I told you, self-healing revolves around many aspects of life. But in this presentation, I will talk more about the health aspect of two experiences that I had. And here, I would like to ask a question. What is self-healing? I'm not saying that I have an answer. I don't think anyone really has an answer, but I would like to tell you, as it's written here, your body's ability to heal is greater than anyone has permitted you to believe. And through my spiritual journey, I really learned the importance of the mindset and the power of the mind. So we always ask ourselves like different questions. What is healing? What is miraculous healing or spontaneous remissions? What is it really that heals a person and that heals a body? Sometimes we see many people who have the same disease, for example, they take the same treatment. Some of them, the treatment works on them, some others doesn't work on them. What made it work here and what made it not work on that other person? These are questions, and I think if we go deeper into this subject and we ask ourselves questions, we would really get to know more and more about the self-healing process. And here I would like to give you an example, because this is an example that I read online about 10 years ago and that I never forgot. It was one of the steps that I took in the beginning of my healing, self-healing process. I'm going to be telling you about it a bit later. So this example, I read it on Quora. I don't know if you know Quora. It's like a website where it's like a forum where people ask different questions on so many subjects, and you can discuss any questions that you want. It's really amazing website. So one day I typed like self-healing on Quora, and I found out this example that I'm going to share with you today. So there was this lady who wrote an example. So she says, for example, a lady that was diagnosed with cancer, for example, okay? So she went to the hospital and she began her medical treatment, which was like chemotherapy. And then a year later, this lady was completely cured. She was healthy again, and she was so happy that the chemotherapy gave her what she wanted, and she healed completely from cancer. But here, I want to go deeper into the subject, and this is what was written in the examples that I read on Quora. And this is why I wrote here, what if, what if some other elements also helped this medical treatment to be positive and to also cure her completely? Because this lady, when she was doing chemotherapy during this year, first of all, she left the work that was stressing her a lot. Second of all, she felt that she needs to be closer to her family, to her husband, to her kids. Third of all, for example, she took the phone and she called, let's say, her sister, who she hasn't spoken with for a long time because they fought about something stupid like a few years ago. I know, fourth thing, like perhaps she decided to go every day to walk in nature and to enjoy nature and to enjoy every moment. Perhaps she also decided during this year to begin meditating, to appreciate every moment, to appreciate life. So all these, in my opinion, contributed into making her healthy again, because these things that she decided, first of all, leaving, let's say, the work that used to stress her a lot, made her release all the anger. And releasing anger from our body always has very positive effects. Second of all, when she decided, let's say, to call her sister with whom she hasn't spoken for a long time, this is how she brought joy and she brought smile and she brought peace into her body, into her heart. And bringing love and bringing peace is an essential step into the self-healing process. In addition to this, while meditating, she became to know more and more about the true power within herself. And when she became closer to her family, she began feeling more affection and more love from her family. And feeling love from other people, believe me, we are all, now that we are talking during this presentation, we are all sending waves. So her family was sending her love waves and positive waves that were entering her body and her mind. So all these elements together, in my opinion, contribute into the healing process, because even if the person did not really pay attention to all these things, perhaps she was doing all these things without paying attention, but the law of attraction works without paying attention. The law of attraction works in a way where even if you are asleep, the law of attraction is working. Your mind is sending out waves. So even if you are not paying attention, you are already sending waves to the universe. So just by doing all these things, without paying attention to them, she was sending positive vibes to the universe. And what if all these things are, in addition to her medical treatments, what contributed to her being healthy again? So this is the example I wanted to share with you to show you how all these elements are part of the self-healing process. And this is what I say when it's up to us to decide if we want to heal or not, you know. And this is the difference between a person who is only taking medical treatment and a person who is really doing changes in his or her life in order to achieve the healings that he or she wants. So here I will move to the part where after this example I will tell you about me and what happened with me back in 2009. So at the time I was living in Paris, so so I thought I would put a picture of myself in Paris. That was me about 11 years ago or 12 years ago. You know, we are all supposed to take a picture of the Eiffel Tower when you are in Paris. Anyway, so just a bit for fun. So in 2009, I was diagnosed. So I had, you know, a problem with my right eye. I couldn't see well. And like a few days later, I went to the hospital. We did some tests, and this is when I found out I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Basically, multiple sclerosis, it's something that I had never heard about in the past, but they explained it to me. And just to tell you a bit quickly what multiple sclerosis is, it is basically it's like a disease. It is said to be a genetic disease. Some people say it's not, some people say it is. Anyway, there are lots of discussions about it, but the scientific, let's say, definition is like a genetic disease where the immune system, you know, you have like stuff in your brain that connect your brain with your hands and legs, which makes you able to walk and to speak and do all this stuff. So in MS, in the multiple sclerosis, what happens is that the immune system begins to destroy, in a way, all the connections between the brain and the arms and the legs, for example. So what happens is, like at 35 or 40 years old, many people who have MS become like disabled persons or persons with handicap. This is like, in a way, to resume what multiple sclerosis is. And this is what I was diagnosed with 12 years ago. Like in 2009, I was 20 years old at the time. This is how it all began for me. So how I came into my spiritual journey here in this presentation, I'm not going to go into details about my spiritual journey because I have another event coming up in 3 weeks where I go into more details. Here, I'll just stick to the self-healing journey. But just to tell you, during my stay in the hospital, a friend of mine offered me this book called The Secret. Perhaps some of you know about it. This book is a great book that changed my life completely. And it talks about the law of attraction, how we can always attract what we want in life, how our minds are always working. Whenever we send out waves, we attract whatever we send, and we can really heal ourselves, should it be for health reasons, for relationships, for work, or for any other aspect of life. You know, so this book was the first stone, let's say, in my spiritual path, in my healing journey for multiple sclerosis. I'm going to tell you how it happened in a few minutes. And you see, there are lots of beautiful quotes about it, like I release all diseases from my body and I welcome love, health, and happiness. Nothing happens by accident. Beliefs about aging are all in our minds, and also many Buddha quotes concerning health and mindset. So it taught me how important it is to try and keep positive vibes, to try and always trust the universe, because as long as we are trusting the universe, this is the ultimate trust to live our lives, forgetting, not really letting go of our problems in a way. The universe will handle our problems in itself, you know. And this is the most important lesson that I learned from The Secret. This was the first step in my journey, actually. In addition to The Secret, you know, when you this is something I learned: when you begin a spiritual journey, you begin attracting people and situations in your life that will show you more and more about this journey. It's like, just every day I used to have just meetings with people, or just finding an episode of some series that used to remind me of a certain subject. And this is what happened. You know, here I put, I know if some of you perhaps they know this series True Blood that was on TV like some years ago. So it's a series about vampires, you know, and True Blood because they were drinking True Blood. And so just tell you that this series, in an unexpected way, was one of the steps in my spiritual journey. And because whenever I watch a series, it's all I always like to take the life lessons from it. Like even though for those of you who were at my previous events, I always talk also about Star Trek, how Star Trek taught me lots of life lessons, because I like to really delve deep inside every episode and the lessons you can get. So one of the episodes of True Blood that I told is it's a series about vampires and stuff. They talk about a certain Gaia, okay, and how powerful Gaia is, and the power of Gaia and stuff like this. It was so after this episode, I went on Wikipedia and began researching Gaia, which turned out like, you know, in philosophy, like the goddess of nature or stuff like this. And after this episode, what I did is that I found a book called Dharma Gaia and I bought it, and it was one of the steps towards my spiritual journey and self-healing. And from Dharma Gaia, I also found out about Alan Watts, who was a philosopher, one of my mentors in life, if you want. He like I learned lots of life lessons. I always follow him and you know, watch videos of him on YouTube. He's not alive anymore, but he really like, taught me in a way lots of things about spirituality, about enjoying every moment in life and letting go of our problems. And he says that men are often sad because men take seriously what the gods made for fun. And you know, it's like in the movie Mr. Nobody, as they say, life is a playground, is either a playground or nothing. So this is the idea, it's just to let go and let the universe handle the problems. It's not up to us to handle them. And so this is what I learned through my journey until I arrived to the book, L'homme qui voulait être heureux, or in English, The Man Who Wanted to Be Happy. I have it right here. One of the best books I read that I highly recommend, because this book, as I told you, the self-healing journey can affect health or work or relationships. This book talks about a guy who had problems with relationships, with health, with many aspects of his life, and he goes to see a healer in Bali who teaches him all about the importance of gratitude, of living in the moment, of the mindset to change all of his life and to shape his life completely. So all these stuff were really key aspects, key steps in my self-healing journey that taught me the importance of gratitude. And more importantly, the third point, living as if we already have what we want. You know, the most important thing to attract what you want is really to live as if you already got it. You do not have to say I want. From the second you say I want, it means you do not have it. You say I am, and you say I have, and this is how I live my life. And here we arrive to my personal self-healing, where I'm just gonna be telling you two stories that happened with me concerning my multiple sclerosis, and how I got to heal myself anyway. So here I just put some pictures of MRI just to tell you, for multiple sclerosis, you know, you have these MRIs, and what shows in the MRIs are like, you know, they have like white dots. I don't have any idea what they mean, but it seems that they mean like the multiple sclerosis. The more white dots there are, the worse the situation is. Anyway, so in 2015, I was still in Lebanon, and at the time I did an MRI and I went to see my doctor. At the time, I was a bit stressed with many things happening in my life, many personal things. And I went to see my doctor after I did my MRI, and it turned out that there were many new white dots, you know. So the MS was active and it was not a good sign. So this is where my doctor told me that he wanted me to go to a new treatment. He wanted me to begin taking a treatment that is stronger than the one I was taking. But here I knew, because I was always in the law of attraction, I knew that something was wrong in my mindset. And for this, I had all this new activity of MS. I told him I'm not gonna go for a new treatment. I asked him to let me do an MRI in another 6 months, and hopefully all these new dots will be gone. So he accepted, and what I did is that every day for 6 months, I used to wake up in the morning and say the following sentence. I am grateful that my MRI turned very clean and all the new dots were completely gone. So basically, I lived 6 months of my life as if I already did the MRI and as if I already got the results, and I'm grateful for the results. It's like I created the results in the future from my mind. And I can tell you it's a personal story that happened with me. 6 months later, I did the MRI and all the new dots were gone. This is something, it's not a story that I'm inventing, it's something that happened with me in 2015, and until today I'm continuing with my same treatment and I didn't take another treatment. So this was 2015. 2018, same thing. So basically, one of the multiple sclerosis symptoms are tingling. So you feel, in the arms or in the leg, like tingling, but not the tingling when you sit in an uncomfortable way. It's like tingling that stays for 4, 5, 6 days, that doesn't stop, and then it stops in a sudden way, So in 2018, I was in Bordeaux. I had finished my university and was looking for work. And at the time, I was always thinking about the work. It was very important for me to find work. It had been 4 months and I hadn't found any work yet. In my mind, I always had this work idea in my mind, think of work all the time. And at some point, I began feeling tingling in my arms and in my legs. And here I was really surprised because it's been 3 years where I was in perfect health, no symptoms at all. But here symptoms began to appear. And the tingling did not stop for 1 day, then for 1 week, then for 2 weeks, the tingling did not stop at all. To be honest, I was worried. I knew something was wrong, and I went to see my doctor in France. And just tell you, my doctor here in France knows the importance of mindset. So whenever I go see him, we spend 5 minutes where he asks me, before seeing the MRI or the blood test or all this stuff, he asks me, are you partying? Are you going out with your friends? Are you going hiking? Are you working out? He asks me lots of questions about my social life because he knows how important it is to live for my health, actually. And I told him about my tingling, and he told me, Saeed, I know you, and you have been in perfect health for many years. There must be something that is stressing you, that is making all these symptoms coming back. He told me, try to know what is going on with you. I will give you just some few stuff. In case it continues, you might have to pass to a new treatment, but perhaps you yourself, you can find out what's happening with you. And here I had stopped meditation for many months. Actually, I began meditating again, and this is where I learned is that in my conscious mind, I wasn't like, I was thinking of work, exactly, it's true, but in my unconsciousness, I was worried about not finding work. And this worry, this stress, this is what was affecting my multiple sclerosis and giving me all these tingling and all these symptoms. And this is where I reminded myself that I have always trusted the universe, that I should just let go and let the universe handle, and believe that I will get the job that I wanted. So I began every morning, I did the same thing that I did before in 2015. I was grateful for everything I have in my life. And day after day, the tingling began to decrease until it disappeared completely. And a month and a half later, or 2 months later, I got a call for an interview for a job that to which I had applied, where I work now, actually, at Cité du Vin, which is like a huge wine museum. I'm still working there until now. So 2 months later, I got a call. They took me and I got my job, and the tingling completely stopped, and I didn't have any more multiple sclerosis symptoms. So just to show you, these are 2 examples that I had in my life. So, and both of them, like in 2015 and 2018, where I had symptoms, where I had the activity in my MRIs, were all due to mindset, were all due to stressful situations I was passing through, and when I decided to control myself, to meditate, to know that everything's gonna be fine, this is where all these activity, all these symptoms completely disappeared. So this is really like something, that story, I think it's really something that happened with me that I wanted to share with you today, how I got to heal myself from these symptoms, thanks to just letting go and trusting the universe. And until now, it's been 12 years that I have the multiple sclerosis. I'm not healed yet, but I can tell you I will completely heal. Healing is coming, and I will let you know when I get completely healed. It will arrive, and hopefully soon. And here, just after having shared these two stories with you about my personal experiences, I just want to share some, yeah, well, we're basically at the end of the presentation approximately. I just want to share some stuff that happens with you when you go on the self-healing journey. You know, when you go on self-healing journey and you know the power within yourself, you begin attracting situations and people to you that are either on the same journey or that need your storytelling, that need your experiences. It's like you become a beacon of energy, and you radiate something so beautiful, you know. And here I put this picture of a website. There's this website called Conversation Exchange, and 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I met a girl on this website. She lives in Morocco, because actually it's a website where you can meet a person to exchange to learn a new language. So I wanted to learn Spanish. She wanted to practice English, and we became friends, and we are friends until today. We never met in real life. We just talk over the phone like once a month or twice a month. We became very good friends. But the thing is that this girl that I met through this website was really one of. I mean, she tells me she was very negative. She was always very pessimist. And all I did was tell her the stories that I'm telling you now, some of the stories about my self-healing, about how the positive mindset changed my life, about about trusting the universe, about the law of attraction. And I can tell you now, because we've been talking for like 4 years, we talk about different aspects of life. This girl now completely changed. She became from the most negative girl I knew to the most positive girl I know. And this is how I'm telling you, sometimes you attract people that need to hear your storytelling, and never underestimate the power of storytelling. You know, we are all teachers in a way. And through your stories, you can teach people about stuff. So this is a story about how I met this person on Conversation Exchange, and it's like in a way I attracted her, and I helped her change her life through the things that happened with me. Another story, you know, in next to Bordeaux, like 30 minutes from Bordeaux, there's a village called Plum Village, like a Buddhist temple village. I've never been there. However, same thing, because the story about self-healing. Once I was in a bar here next to my house in Bordeaux. I have friends who have a bar, so usually before the lockdown, whenever I am coming back from work, I always pass by the bar for like 1 hour, and then I come back home. And one day, this was about like 2 years ago, approximately, or a bit more than 2 years ago, I was at the bar, and there was this solo traveler. She was a girl actually from Poland. She was solo traveling through France, and she was there like sitting having a drink. And I began talking to her, and I asked her like what's bringing her to Bordeaux, and she told me that she was going to the Plum Village. And here I was shocked. I told her, "So are you into law of attraction and yoga?" So this is where she told me that she is a yoga teacher. I told her, but how did you get into all this? And I told her, do you really think that through your mindset you can control a disease or your health actually? And this was like the answer she gave me. She told me that she went into her spiritual journey just as I did, but for her, it was a brain cancer that she had. She told me 5 years ago she had brain cancer, and doctors told her that she had about a year to live. And this is how her spiritual journey began. And she told me, look at me now, 5 years later, I'm traveling the whole world, I'm drinking beer, I'm enjoying my life. And just through my mindset, just through the law of attraction, I got to heal myself. You know, we talked for like 2 or 3 hours. I'm not gonna tell you all the discussions we had, but I just enjoyed listening to her self-healing journey from her brain cancer. And she was going to spend like 2 weeks in this Plum Village in order to meditate and to progress more in her self-healing journey. And here I want to show you, this guy is Wayne Dyer, for those who don't know it. He is also like Alan Watts, my mentor in all the spiritual journey. He died a few years ago. He has lots of amazing videos that talk about trusting the universe. And this is one of his quotes. All you have to do is to retreat in peace and let the universe handle the details. It's not up to us to handle the details. All you have to do is send your request to the universe, and you retreat in peace. You live your life, and you get what you want. I'm going to show you just 1 minute of his video, and we'll come back. So, By the way, I highly recommend that you watch this video. It's a bit long,
About a year.
Like the things he talked about are so amazing. So the part I want to show you it starts at 1:10. Just a sec. Yeah, I guess it starts here.
14 days. Today, there's close to 100 million copies in 47 languages around the world. It's, and everything in my life after that shifted. My diet changed, my habits changed, everything turned around because I got the rage out of me. Because in order to attract the elements that are going to bring you the ability to manifest into your life what you want. Remember how I opened this program. We do not manifest what we want. That comes from a place of missing. We manifest what we are. The angels who will guide you throughout your life will only be there for you when they recognize themselves in you. And they cannot recognize themselves in you and guide you when you are filled with hatred, anger, judgment, condemnation, bitterness, fear, anxiety, stress. You have to let all of that go and be love. Be in this place of perfect divine love. Love for everything and everyone on our planet. That's self-actualization at work. And the principles for bringing this about into your life are the last 5 chapters of Wishes Fulfilled. But basically, what it says is, the greatest gift that you've ever been given is the gift of your imagination. Your imagination is yours to be able to do anything you want with. You can place any thought in there with the awareness of I am.
I'm going to stop it here. We'll be sending you the links later if you want to watch it. This is a great video. I highly recommend that you watch it. And as he said, it's just when you trust that everything's going to be fine, when you trust that you will get what you want, and when you let go of all your problems, this is where, as he said, the angels or your guides or the universe is going to send you signs. And here, I can tell you this is something I lived during the last 6 months. I'm not gonna tell you about what happened because it's not the subject of this presentation. But 6 months ago, and more precisely in October, I had like a difficult period for me began. And it lasted for 6 months from October until last week. It was a very difficult period that I was passing through, but all I did is that I trusted the universe. I didn't think of my problem. I did Internations events. I published videos on my YouTube channel. I lived my life as if the problem did not exist because I knew that the universe is gonna handle it in a way. And you can't imagine the signs that I was receiving every week, either through a talk, either through a call, either through a video. I was always receiving signs from the universe on the path that I should take. And just last week on Tuesday, more precisely, I received a call, and I can tell you I was literally in tears because everything was resolved in the most unexpected way. And it's like it was literally how I visualized it at the beginning of my problem, how I asked the universe for it to be solved, actually. So this is story for another time, but just to tell you, we all receive signs from the universe whenever we trust the universe and we just let go. So this was a bit the end of my presentation. I just want to say 2 more things that since this is a subject that I really like, you can, we'll send you the link later. You can check on my YouTube channel. I have many videos where I talk about all these stories, all these subjects, such as the ones that I told you about now. I have many videos about the art of manifesting, what you seek is seeking you. You know, the book, The Man Who Wanted to Be Happy, that I told you about, the lessons of faith and how faith is the most important shield that you can get in your life. So I publish lots of videos such as these on my YouTube channel that you can check them out if you'd like. And in addition to this, I have some travel videos also that I publish. You can find me on Instagram, where also from every other day I publish quotes, or I publish some small lessons of life as at Wanderer's Footsteps. And soon you will find me on TikTok. It's still experimental. I will have a channel for also life lessons and sharing my self-healing journey. I'm still experimenting with it, so it's not done yet. And other than this subject, if you are ever in Bordeaux, I'm also, since I love traveling and stuff, don't hesitate to contact me if you need a couch or somewhere to sleep. I'm on Couchsurfing and be welcome. And as I told you, I work as a guide in Bordeaux, so make sure to contact me. And just quickly, some events that I have that you have coming soon. I have 2 events coming about spirituality. So on the 8th of April, which is next Thursday, not the coming Thursday, the one after, I have, well, it's not seen here, but I mean, it's a journey of traveling and spirituality where I will tell you more about how traveling was a key aspect in my spiritual journey, and also because through traveling I met lots of people along the way that helped me, that were mentors for me. I will talk about this side of my spiritual journey next Thursday. On the 22nd of April, the steps that carried me through life is going to be my full spiritual journey from the beginning to the end. And concerning traveling and other subjects, like next Tuesday on 6th of April, we're having a huge quiz night on an online group. So it's open for basic members also. And if you want to know more about Bordeaux and the wine of Bordeaux, this is an event that was supposed to be last week, but we postponed it. It's going to be on the 14th of April. So just to give you an idea of some events. And so this was my presentation. I thank you all for being here, and I'm going to stop my screen sharing.